Hello friends, I am Ashok Nadhani, a cost accountant with 15 years of industry experience, a business software consultant, a blogger, and author of 30 plus books. I am also the creator of dVidya.com, an educational website that provides free online resources for students in grades 11 to 12, focusing on commerce and mathematics. The website offers study materials in text format along with audio and video tutorials. I am currently working on a new format for video tutorials with enhanced explanations to improve clarity, ensuring the learners can grasp concepts without external assistance. At the end, you will watch two video tutorials as example.
Your feedback matters.
For students, I invite you to share your opinions on the teaching style. Does it explain the topic clearly and completely without leaving any doubts? Your feedback will help us to refine and improve the contents. For teachers, I encourage you to critically review the contents and teaching style, providing constructive suggestions for improvement.
Calling educators to collaborate.
I invite authors and teachers who are willing to contribute to content creation. You don't need to create the videos yourself. Simply record audio or self video explaining the pre written text materials provided by us. Our technical team will transform your recordings into engaging video tutorials. Full guidance and assistance will be provided on how to record audio or video. Contributors will be compensated for their work. Together, with the collaboration of students, teachers, and digital creators, we can enrich educational content to make it more engaging and useful. Students often struggle with solving mathematical problems. The key to overcoming this challenge lies in analyzing the problem and developing a clear strategy for solving it. The first step is especially crucial as it sets the direction towards the correct solution. In textbooks, we typically see only the final solution. In classroom, teachers often go through correct steps quickly, much like a book. But this method isn't much helpful in improving the ability of analysis to pave to right solution. However, when students attempt to solve a problem on their own, they do not always know the right direction to take. It is crucial to understand how a student analyzes a problem and approaches to this solution. I aim to bridge the gap by focusing on the student's thought process, how they analyze a problem and find their way towards a solution. More than just arriving at the correct answer, the ability to analyze and navigate the right path is the true skill in mathematics. Please observe how this approach is demonstrated in the next example shown and share your feedback. Your insights will help us refine and enhance students' problem solving abilities. If 3 to the power x is equal to 4 to the power y is equal to 12 to the power z, then z is equal to, the options are A, x plus y by x, B, x by y divided by x plus y, C, y divided by x plus y, D, x plus y divided by y. In this problem, you see that each term is different, x, y and z. No relationship between the index x, y, z is given in the question. But it is stated that 3 to the power x is equal to 4 to the power y is equal to 12 to the power z. So, let us assume a common value of k equal to each of these terms so that we can establish a relationship through k which becomes a link between all the three items. So let us write 3 to the power x is equal to 4 to the power y is equal to 12 to the power z equal to k. Now we simplify the relationship of each term. The first term 3 to the power x is equal to k. So 3 to the power, if we divide the index by x on the both side, we get 3 to the power x by x is equal to k to the power 1 by x, or 3, because 3 to the power x by x is 1, so 3 to the power 1 means 3 equal to k to the power 1 by x. This we name as equation number 1 for reference. Similarly, the second term 4 to the power y is equal to k. So in the same way, we don't repeat again. 4 is equal to k to the power y. In the same way, we deduced in equation 1. Again, the third term 12 to the power z is equal to k. So in the same way, we get 12 is equal to k to the power 1 by z. We refer it as equation number 3. So from equation number 1 and 2, we multiply the left hand side of both the equations. So we get k to the power 1 by x into k to the power 1 by y is equal to 3 from equation 1, 3, and into 4 from equation 2, 4 equal to 12. So we get k to the power 1 by x plus 1 by y is equal to 12. This we refer as equation number 4. From equation 3, we have k to the power 1 by z is equal to 12. So we get k to the power 1 by z is equal to 12 is equal to k to the power 1 plus 1 by x plus 1 by y, because from the equation number 4 we get this relationship. In equation number 4, both left hand side and right hand side, the base is k. So the index of both sides are equal. So we get an equation from the index of the both sides. 1 by z is equal to 1 by x plus 1 by y, or 1 by z is equal to x plus y by xy, or z is equal to xy by x plus y. So from the list of option, we find that this is the option B. So option B is the correct option. Now we take up method of answering multiple choice questions. In most books, only the correct answer for a multiple choice questions, that is MCQ, is provided, sometimes accompanied by an explanation. But the incorrect, distracting options are just overlooked. This approach limits a learner's ability to fully understand the logic behind the correct choice. We focus on a comprehensive analysis of all options, ensuring that students not only identify the correct answer but also understand why other choices are incorrect. This method enhances critical thinking and decision making skills, leading to a deeper understanding of the subject. Nowadays, all competitive exams, entrance exam, and even board exams are conducted through objective tests comprising multiple choice questions. So, students must read and practice to solve MCQ. In this video, we take up some multiple choice questions related to contract of agency under Indian Contracts Act 1872.
Principal is not liable for the Agents Act if Option A. Agent acts within the scope of his authority. Option B. Agent exceeds his authority. Option C. Fraud or misrepresentation committed for benefit of the principal. Option D. Work done out of his authority but the principal accepts it.
Option A. Agent acts within the scope of his authority. If an agent acts within the scope of their authority, the principal is generally liable for their actions. So this statement is incorrect.
Agent exceeds his authority. If the agent acts outside the scope of their authority, the principal is not liable for those actions. So this statement is correct.
Option C. Fraud or misrepresentation committed for the benefit of the principal. If the agent commits fraud or misrepresentation for the principal's benefit and within their authority, the principal may still be held liable. So the statement is incorrect.
Work done out of his authority but the principal accepts it. If the principal accepts or ratifies the work done by the agent outside their authority, the principal can be held liable. So this statement is incorrect.
So, correct option is B. The correct answer is B, because a principal is generally not liable when an agent exceeds their given authority, unless they later ratify the agent's actions. An agency comes to an end. A. By performance of contract. B. By agreement between the principal and the agent. C. By renunciation of his authority by the agent. D. All of the above.
Option A. By performance of contract. Once the contract's objectives are achieved, the agency relationship typically terminates. So this statement is correct.
Option B. By agreement between the principal and the agent.
The principal and agent can mutually agree to end the agency at any time. So this statement is correct.
Option C. By renunciation of his authority by
The agent can renounce their authority, effectively ending the agency. So this statement is incorrect.
Option D. All of the above.
Each of the above options represents a valid reason for agency. Termination under the Indian Contract Act, 1872. So this statement is correct.
So, correct option is D. Option D is correct because an agency can end through any of the means mentioned above, like completion, mutual agreement, or renunciation by the agent.
Normally, in the books, just the MCQ and options are given. The students select option on their intuition or by fluke and attempts to tally with the correct option given at the end.
An agency is irrecoverable. A. Where the authority of agency is one coupled with interest. B. Where the agent has incurred personal liability. C. Both A and B. D. None of the above.
Option A, where the authority of agency is one coupled with interest. An agency is irrevocable when the agent has an interest in the subject matter, as the agent's rights are protected. So this statement is correct.
Option B, where the agent has incurred personal liability. When the agent incurs personal liability, they have an interest in ensuring the agency continuation, making it irrevocable. So this statement is correct.
Option C, both A and B, since both situations make the agency irrevocable. So this statement is correct.
Option D, none of the above. Since options A and B provide valid circumstances for an irrevocable agency, so this statement is incorrect.
So, correct option is C. Option C is correct because an agency is irrevocable both when coupled with an interest and when the agent has incurred personal liability, protecting the agent's stake in the agency relationship. In case the contract of agency has been terminated and a third party enters into a contract with the agent without knowing this fact, then A. The contract will be binding on the principal. B. The contract will not be binding on the principal. C. The contract will only be binding on the agent. D. None of the above. You see that this question is about if a contract of agency is terminated and a third party unknowingly contracts with the agent, what is the legal consequence?
Option A. The contract will be binding on the principal if the third party has no knowledge of the termination. The principal may still be bound by the agent's actions under the doctrine of apparent authority. So this option is correct.
Option B. The contract will not be binding on the principal. This disregards the third party's lack of awareness of the agency termination, which can make the principal liable. So this option is incorrect.
Option C. The contract will only be binding on the agent. While the agent may have personal liability in certain cases, this does not absolve the principal of their responsibility if the third party reasonably believes the agent still acts on the principal's behalf. So, this option is incorrect.
Option D. None of the above. Option A correctly identifies the situation. So, this option is incorrect.
So the correct option is A. The principal remains bound under apparent authority because the third party had no notice of the agency's termination.
In some books, however, the correct option is explained while other wrong options are not discussed. So, the student does not go through complete analysis of the question and all the options.
A. An agent engaged in carrying on for B a business, in which it is the custom to invest from time to time, omits to make such investments. Option A. A. Need not make good to be the interest usually obtained by such investments. Option B. A. Can partially make good to be the interest usually obtained by such investments. Option C. A. Must make good to be along with interest usually obtained by such investments. Option D. None of these. You see that this question is about if an agent fails to invest funds in a customary way, must he compensate the principal?
A need not make good to be the interest usually obtained by such investments. An agent is required to act with diligence and follow customary practices. Failure to do so makes them liable. So this option is incorrect.
A. Can partially make good to B the interest usually obtained by such investments. Compensation is typically for the full loss caused by negligence, not partial. So this option is incorrect.
A must make good to B the interest usually obtained by such investments. The agent is liable for failing to perform their duty in a customary manner, including making good on the interest lost. So this option is correct.
None of these. Option C correctly applies the principle of liability for failure to act diligently. So, this option is incorrect.
So the correct option is C. An agent must compensate the principal for any losses resulting from their failure to act in Accordance with customary practices. A. An agent, having authority to sell on credit, sells to B on credit without making the proper and usual inquires as to the solvency of B. B at the time of such sale is insolvent. Option A. A. Need not make compensation to his principal in respect of any loss thereby sustained. Option B. A. Can partially make compensation to his principal in respect of any loss thereby sustained. Option C. A. Must make compensation to his principal in respect of any loss thereby sustained. Option D. None of these. You see that this question is about if an agent sells on credit without due diligence and incurs losses, is he liable to compensate the principal for the loss incurred?
A. Need not make compensation to his principal in respect of any loss thereby sustained. The agent has a duty to exercise reasonable care, and failure to do so makes them liable. So, this option is incorrect.
A. Can partially make compensation to his principal in respect of any loss thereby sustained. Compensation is for the full loss caused by the agent's negligence, not partial. So, this option is incorrect.
A must make compensation to his principal in respect of any loss thereby sustained. The agent's negligence in assessing the buyer's solvency makes them liable for their resulting losses. So this option is correct.
None of these. Option C is the correct answer. So this option is incorrect.
So the correct option is C. Agents must compensate for losses caused by their failure to conduct reasonable inquiries, especially in matters involving credit sales.
In this video, the questions with options are first put up. It is followed by the central meaning and intent of the question, inspiring critical thinking and analysis. Each option is then logically explained to infer whether it is correct or wrong.
Termination of an agency with public authority or a public body may attract judicial intervention in writ petition. Option A. If the termination be unreasonable. Option B. If the termination be arbitrary. Option C. If the termination be unconscionable. Option D. All of them. You see that this question is about when can termination of an agency with a public authority attract judicial intervention?
If the termination be unreasonable. Unreasonable termination may invite judicial scrutiny under principles of natural justice. So this option is correct.
If the termination be arbitrary, arbitrary termination can be challenged as it violates fairness. So this option is correct.
If the termination be unconscionable, unconscionable acts are inherently unfair and may be reviewed by courts. So, this option is correct.
All of them. Each of the above scenarios can lead to judicial intervention. So this option is correct.
So the correct option is D. Judicial intervention is warranted when the termination is unreasonable, arbitrary, or unconscionable. The agency extends to receiving notice on behalf of his principal of whatever is material to be stated in the course of the proceedings. For this rule to operate, 1. The agent must be under a duty to communicate. 2. The information must be material. 3. It must have been obtained in the course of business for which the agent has been engaged. 4. The agent is not privy to a fraud on the principal. Option A 1, 2. Option B 2, 4. Option C 3, 4. Option D. All of them. You see that this question is about when does an agency extend to receiving notice on behalf of the principal?
1. 2. Only considering the first two conditions is insufficient. All criteria must be met. So, this option is incorrect.
2, 4 excludes conditions 1 and 3, which are essential for the rule to operate. So, this option is incorrect.
3, 4. Conditions 1 and 2 are also critical for completeness, so this option is incorrect.
All conditions, duty to communicate, materiality of information, course of business, and absence of fraud must be fulfilled for the rule to apply. So this option is correct.
So the correct option is D. The rule operates when all four conditions are met, ensuring transparency and accountability in the agency relationship.
Having explained all the options, the correct option is finally inferred through further logical deliberations. So, the student understands how to make logical analysis for answering MCQ.
The extent of an agent's authority, whether express or implied, depends upon option A. The nature of act or business for which he has been appointed. Option B. Things which are incidental to the business or are usually done in carrying it out. Option C. The usual customs and usages of the trade. Option D. All of them. You see that this question is about what determines the extent of an agent's authority?
The nature of act or business for which he has been appointed. The purpose of the agency defines the agent's authority. So this option is correct.
Things which are incidental to the business or are usually done in carrying it out. Incidental actions are part of implied authority. So this option is correct.
The usual customs and usages of the trade. Customary practices can determine the scope of implied authority. So this option is correct.
All of them. All these factors collectively determine the extent of authority. So this option is correct.
So the correct option is D. The agent's authority depends on the nature of the business, incidental requirements, and trade customs.
dVidya is constellation of creators, teachers, and students for spreading education. Learn through practical work. Work from home jobs on training completion. Students study from free resources. Do practical assignments and get paid. Do practical projects working from home. Creators create study materials in text and digital form and earn money working from home. Teachers provide online and on-site support and coaching.